Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Join me as I welcome to the stage PCCF and Special Secretary Environment and Climate Change, Thiru Anurag Mishra. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I will try to summarize without naming the speaker and what they told. So, I think first our ACS started with the problem of first movers disadvantage. And of course, Tamil Nadu was the first who started thinking and doing something about climate change. So, we don't have a rear view mirror. We have to see only in front. And finally, this fantastic institution of TNGCC was born. And along with that, Governing Council for CM was there to guide this climate change puzzle. Then, Madam ACS emphasized about partners and the symbiotic relationship. We are learning from them. They are also learning from how the things are executed in the field. And the most important thing was that all the departments were taken on board. Some were there on our TNGCC governing directors board, and some were consulted in an informal manner. And the most important thing is that whatever Tamil Nadu is doing is based on some data, authentic data, and based on the authentic data, the policy decisions were taken, and finally, we started implementing, and last 5 years, we have been implementing many path-breaking schemes in the field. And to start with, we got the advantage of this climate studio, which is there in Anna University. They have been doing research on climate change data for the last 10, 15 years. And the CEW started the work of this gas inventory work, greenhouse gas inventory work, and which once you are aware about the baseline things, then only you can decide what path you will be taking, in which direction you will move. So these are the things. Then some 4 missions are there, and each mission director told about the time allotted was very short for those people to explain or tell about what are the things they are doing. Mr. Rahul, mission director, TN climate change mission, started with climate studio, which is the basis of all our decision and the action which is being implemented in the field. And the climate studio helps in downscaling climate projection, which is being given by IPCC. IPCC gives on a very coarse scale. Finer downscaling is done with the help of climate studio and their scientists. Then he talked about a path-breaking scheme of green school. I think we have done, in all the districts it has been implemented, and almost 300 schools have been covered. And basically we are trying to inculcate or teach or create awareness about this climate change. Mostly it is driven by energy conservation, waste management, water conservation, and water is the most important thing in a state like Tamil Nadu, where there is always a scarcity of water and we have to manage water well. Then I think this institution of Green Fellows have been initiated, and now it is being copied elsewhere in our country, and I think at central level also this Green Fellows or this scheme of Green Fellows is being initiated. And first batch of 40 people have come out, and they have been absorbed in different capacity in international organization, and many are working with us, and we are simply amazed by the energy and the knowledge which they bring along with their experience in working in the district in different fields. Then I think he touched upon carbon neutral hub. Later on, this carbon neutral hub, which is being implemented in 4 districts of Tamil Nadu, he briefly talked about this. Then climate resilient village, again this was dealt in detail later on. And lastly, he touched upon this TNMRF, Marine Research Foundation. There is always a shortage of finance, so this is a very unique institution which is trying to collect money, and wherever we feel that shortage of money is there, the money is being, or the finance is being directed in that direction. Then Mr. Anwardin, Chief Mission Director, Green Tamil Nadu Mission, talked about Green Cover Initiative of Tamil Nadu, again a unique thing. And only one objective this scheme is having, that to increase our forest cover to 33%. And to achieve that, I think all departments are being taken on board. And earlier, this green cover was only confined to forest department. Forest department were doing greening effort in districts. And in a little way, agriculture department was also involved. But now all departments have been given target. And the best thing about this scheme is that it's a bottoms-up approach. District decides about their target, which they want to do, and they will implement. And wherever, mostly they will be using their own fund, but wherever fund requirement is there, from the government side, the fund is being given, and they use, and they use for greening effort. And in the process, lot of emphasis have been given on this mangrove afforestation and restoration. And in the last 4 years, we have done some 36 square kilometer of mangrove restoration. And the total mangrove cover of Tamil Nadu is somewhere around 42 square meter. So you can see almost 100% of forest cover we have done, or mangrove cover we have done in this mangrove reforestation and afforestation. Then we cannot take people out. In fact, in mangrove afforestation also, people are being involved, but we have to enhance income. We cannot say, tell farmer to go for greening for the sake of climate change or whatever it is. Unless until it enhances their income, it has got no meaning for the poor and marginal farmer. So agroforestry has been increased in great number. Almost 7 crores or 70 million trees have been planted across Tamil Nadu. And most of this, I think I can say 90% will fetch some income or considerable income to the farmers in the coming 5 or 6 years. And government has done a lot of things for farmers so that they can get better price from the consumers. Then we have launched this, Tamil Nadu government has launched this urban greening policy, which says that all ULB will be having 15% under green cover. Then I think he emphasized upon this Palmyra seed dibbling. Total population of Palmyra in Tamil Nadu is almost 40 millions or 4 crores. And last 2 years, we have done some 26.8 million or 2.6 crores Palmyra dibbling, which is a very massive effort on Green Tamil Nadu mission. And the best thing, we are not planting and forgetting. We are taking good care of the planted trees, and I am very happy to share, I think he also emphasized this point, that there was a third-party audit of planted seedlings during the last 2 or 3 years, and survival rate is somewhere around 87%, which we are also surprised that how so much of survival in Tamil Nadu has happened. But it is a third-party audit, so definitely a lot of efforts by our field people have gone for achieving this result of 87%. Then I think he talked about, although UP has already declared this heritage tree, we are also in the process of declaring heritage tree with support from central government institution. Scientific basis, we are trying to assess the age of the trees, and trees which are only some 75 or plus, those only will be declared as heritage tree. Then PCCF of and member secretary, Mr. Reddy, who is the chief mission director of Wetland Mission, talked about Wetland Mission journey from one Ramsar site to 20 Ramsar sites, making Tamil Nadu #1 state in terms of Ramsar site. And we have not stopped with this 20 Ramsar sites. We are still working on it, and in the days to come, you will hear many more Ramsar site from, declaration of many more Ramsar site from Tamil Nadu. Then he spoke about this very important work of digital boundary delineation. Almost 29,000 wetlands are there, which are more than 2.25 hectare. And with the help of district team, it is getting verified. Almost 95% of the work is done. And finally, we are supposed to report it to Honorable Supreme Court of India. Then he talked about the seagrass restoration. Later on, Dr. Patterson also talked about this. And I think this is again a unique work. It is in evolution stage. We are improving based on the experience. The process of seagrass restoration is being improved. And this work is fetching good result. It is evident from the number of dugong. I think recently Wildlife Institute of India has done one survey, and they say that almost 270 dugongs are there in Gulf of Mannar and Park Bay, which was somewhere around 140 in the year 2014 or 15. Then only declaration will not do. We need to have some plans. So 17 Ramsar sites and 3 bird sanctuaries, IMP, Integrated Management Plan, has been prepared, and it is in the process of implementation. For preparation of this plan also, we took help from Wildlife Institute of India. Then Mr. Deepak, Mission Director, TN Shore, emphasized upon Center of Excellence, which are 6 in number. These are devoted to biodiversity, bird, dugong, wetland, and mangrove, and turtles. Then TNPCB emphasized the point of that earlier they were regulator, but during the last 3-4 years, they have become facilitator. Then ACS we talked about financial mechanism, and the important point about all these things was that we are involving stakeholders. And I think somebody talked about last mile connectivity. So we are fully aware about this last mile connectivity. We are involving people. And without consultation from people, we are not moving even an inch forward. And in the process, I think my time is up. So basically, we are consulting stakeholders at each and every stage. Their thinking, their thoughts are being taken when we are formulating a scheme. And again, everything is driven by some scientific data, and based on that only the policy is being made. Thank you very much. Vanakkam.